You started now 2 straight games. What have you just learned about yourself?
Loaded question off the bat. I mean, I think I've just, gotten more comfortable just playing within the game. Obviously, I'm very comfortable within a practice setting. And I think just seeing the translation and carry over from practice to a game on a week-to-week basis has been really helpful.
You've been playing with Jonah for a while now. He was just talking about how being a leader didn't necessarily come naturally to him, just being vocal.
Yeah.
I guess I wonder how you've seen him maybe change in that regard over the course of the years.
Yeah, I mean, Jonah's obviously like a phenomenal human being. He's naturally a little introverted, but when you're that caliber of player and that caliber of human being, sometimes you have to, get out of your comfort zone for the greater good of the team. So I think he's done a phenomenal job of that, not only this year, but the year before. And just really proud of the growth that he's made.
Anything even outside of football where Jonah really gets outside of his shell? What brings it out in
well,
him?
He's like season 6 of Game of Thrones, so he gets pretty excited about that. But
he's only now just watching.
Yeah, that's kind of a problem.
The LA Times ran an article saying that you used to play chess and you use that in your games. Did you use that any of your knowledge recently in your most recent win?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's like direct parallels. I think the biggest carryover is just from how you think and how you approach chess and football, or just like thinking in general. Like, I mean, that carryover can translate into a lot of different areas of your life. So I think just that means of thinking that way to like attack people, attack defenses, and then obviously your opponent in chess is similar. But I mean, there's no like direct carryover from like 4-move checkmate to cover 2 defense. But
yeah, your first 2 starts, you had a long time to lead up to them, and now you've kind of got them coming every single week. Obviously not this week, but
right.
What kind of an impact does it have as a quarterback to be able to get into that rhythm where you're playing every week, or maybe only taking 1 week off, as compared to thinking about a game for a month or 2?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's positive and negatives to both. Like you said, like you can sometimes like agonize over the smallest things when you have that long runway into a game, and when you're going back to back, you obviously have less time to prepare. So, like I said, I think there's positive and negatives to both, and I think just as we go throughout the season, I got to do a good job of taking advantage of that.
Miller gave Lincoln just a lot of credit for your success in the first couple games after the Utah State game. Just how much do you feel like, or the trust you've built with him over the last couple of years, you feel like kind of an extension of him in this offense? Just how would you characterize that relationship?
Yeah, I mean, I think having spent a good amount of time with him, I feel like I generally have a good idea of what we want to do on offense and how we want to attack people, and just how he approaches the game offensively. I mean, no one can really fully understand him because he'll come up with things that no one else can come up with. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I've tried to kind of garner a good understanding of him and how he wants to attack defenses. And yeah, absolutely, I want to be an extension of him on the field.
The run game's working really well. Were you kind of surprised to find yourself so far downfield on the Jordan run? Did Walker down there?
No, I mean, there was actually a play in LSU that was an RPO, and Quentin came out of a few tackles, and I felt like I wasn't, prepared to kind of carry him downfield. I think it was a second down coming out of our end zone. It was like the left hash on like the -25, something like that. So I think it was just a big emphasis for me. Just in the next week, obviously we have dynamic guys back there, so always be ready to, go get one if he comes out of it. Nah, I mean, he said we issue you a helmet and shoulder pads.
You've gotten the ball out, pretty much as fast as any guy in college football, these first couple of weeks. Has that been sort of an emphasis to you in this offense, or is that just kind of a natural part of your game that you feel like has developed?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a concerted effort to be like, I got to get the ball out of my hands. I think, if the guy's open, I'll throw it to him. If he's not, I'll progress through. And I think Coach Riley does a really good job of, giving me answers regardless of the presentation.
Lincoln was talking last week about how you've added a little bit more pop just in your arm, just in general, since he's known you. What do you credit that to? What's been the biggest part in strengthening your arm?
And I think just years and years of training. I mean, obviously, Coach Wiley is a huge part of that, and the kind of concerted effort we made over the offseason to continue to get bigger and stronger. But, I mean, it's just one of those things, natural progression of things. As you continue to do things more and more, you get better at them as long as you're practicing intentionally.
How much of a difference can you notice just throwing a deep ball compared to when you first came here?
I mean, it's hard for me to say because I throw every day. So, it's like you don't notice yourself getting taller. You just wake up one day and look in the mirror and you're like, oh, I'm 4 inches taller. But yeah, I mean, on a day-to-day basis, I mean, I have every confidence, in my arm and in my ability to make throws out there. So,
as a quarterback, what do you think you do best?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'll like pick out one thing. I think, my job as one of the leaders of this team is to try to bring the best out of everybody around me. And I think if I can elevate the guys around me, the team around me, offensively and defensively, then I'm doing my job at a high level.
On
Let's do one more.
that
What's been your
point,
message for the team this week?
I think just take advantage of the time we have. I think, teams with poor mindsets will allow this week to go by and just be like, oh, it's a bye week, not take advantage of the time. But I think we've really made a concerted effort to, get ahead on things, to really, refine the details that are going to make us better going down the stretch. And these are valuable practices. These are just as valuable as, fall camp, spring practice. So, it's been a concerted effort to really refine the details and do what we do best.